Hello, English learners. Welcome back to IELTS English Podcast. Here, you'll get daily listening practice, speaking tips, and real IELTS-style conversations. So, sit back, relax, and let's begin. Wait, if you haven't subscribed to my IELTS English Podcast channel, now's the time. Please subscribe to my channel for daily updates. Mastering the IELTS listening test, an in-depth analysis of question types and strategies. The International English Language Testing System, IELTS, listening component is a crucial gateway for candidates aiming to work or study in English-speaking environments. This section, which is identical for both academic and general training candidates, presents a unique challenge. Assessing a wide spectrum of listening skills through just 40 questions spread across 4 distinct sections and a variety of formats. Achieving a high band score requires more than simply understanding spoken English. It demands a tactical familiarity with every possible question type, as each one tests a different facet of comprehension. This comprehensive article delves deep into the different categories of questions encountered in the IELTS listening test, providing an exhaustive breakdown of what is required and the most effective strategies for success. The landscape of IELTS. Listening, sections, and skill assessment. Before analyzing the question types, it's essential to understand the structure of the 30-minute test. The 4 sections progress in difficulty and context. Section 1 is a conversation in a social or everyday context, e.g., booking a trip. Section 2 is a monologue in a social context, e.g., a welcome speech. Section 3 is a conversation in an academic or training context, e.g., students discussing an assignment. And Section 4 is a monologue on an academic subject, e.g., a university lecture. The transition from social dialogue to academic monologue dictates the complexity of the vocabulary and the question types used. Crucially, the test assesses multiple skills: listening for main ideas, listening for specific factual information, identifying speakers' opinions and attitudes, and following the development of an argument. The different question formats are merely the vehicles through which these core skills are tested. Therefore, successful preparation must be holistic, focusing on both language comprehension and strategic test-taking. Category 1. Completion questions. Gap filling. Completion questions are perhaps the most common category, requiring the candidate to write missing words into a provided text. They are straightforward in concept but demanding in execution, primarily testing your ability to listen for and record specific factual details. The single most critical rule for all completion questions is to strictly observe the word limit, e.g., no more than 2 words and/or a number. Violating this rule, even by a single word, results in a 0 score for that question. Form, note, table, and flowchart completion. These subtypes often appear in the earlier sections where practical, factual data is discussed. Form completion is most frequent in Section 1, where the conversation is often a transaction or a request for personal details, names, addresses, phone numbers, dates. The context allows candidates to predict the type of answer needed. If the gap is for a street name, you know to listen for a proper noun. Note, completion presents information in a non-linear, summarized format, requiring you to capture key facts without the full sentence structure. Table completion categorizes information, often comparing different items based on several criteria, e.g., price, size, feature. You must listen to the cues that transition between the categories, the columns and rows of the table. Flowchart completion requires you to follow a sequence of steps or a process. The arrows or boxes guide your listening, demanding you capture the verb or action associated with each stage. The core strategy here involves pre-reading the gap context, analyzing the words surrounding the blank space to determine the necessary part of speech, noun, adjective, number, and ensuring correct spelling and pluralization upon writing the answer. Sentence and summary completion. These question types are typically more challenging and appear in sections 3 and 4. Sentence completion requires you to finish a sentence that generally summarizes a main point from a short segment of the audio. The sentence structure on the question paper will often be a paraphrase of what the speaker actually says. You must listen for the specific phrase that fits both the meaning and the grammar of the sentence stem. Summary completion is the most demanding completion type, as it involves filling gaps within a longer, denser paragraph that summarizes an academic lecture or a detailed discussion. Success hinges on a strong grasp of the overall meaning of the passage and an ability to spot the synonyms used in the recording that match the theme of the summary. Unlike form completion, these require a higher level of comprehension, focusing on ideas rather than simple facts. In all gap-filling tasks, candidates are given time to check their answers. Use this time to verify spelling, grammar, and adherence to the word. Limit one last time. Category 2. Multiple choice questions, MCQ. Multiple choice questions are designed to test a wide array of skills, ranging from identifying small details to recognizing a speaker's overarching purpose or opinion. They are notorious for being tricky, because the speaker often mentions distractor words related to the incorrect options before settling on the correct one. Single answer, multiple choice. This is the most common format. A question followed by 3 choices, A, B, C. It can test specific detail, IG, what date did the committee meet? Main idea, IRG, what is the primary topic of the lecture? Or attitude opinion, e.g., what does the speaker think about the new policy? The primary strategy for single answer MCQS is eliminating the distractors. As you listen, cross out options that the speaker explicitly rejects or modifies. For opinion-based questions, listen carefully for modals, e.g., should, might, adverbs, e.g., unfortunately, perhaps, and intonation. These cues often reveal the speaker's true sentiment, which is the correct answer. Multiple answer, multiple choice. Choose 2, chart 3. This variant provides a longer list of options, e.g., AF, and asks you to select 2 or 3 correct answers. This is common in sections 3 and 4 and is used to test your ability to hold multiple pieces of information in your working memory while tracking the conversation. For example, a student might list 5 potential problems with an assignment, but only describe 2 of them as major issues. The key here is to listen for categorization or emphasis. Read the question to understand what specific criteria must be met for an option to be correct, e.g., choose the 2 most serious issues. This question type demands intense concentration, as the answers may not be given sequentially. They could be scattered across a minute or 2 of the audio. Category 3. Matching questions. Matching questions present a list of items, usually numbered, that you must associate with a list of options, usually lettered. They test your ability to understand a large amount of detail and establish relationships between different facts. Linking features, opinions, or categories. You might be asked to match a list of historical periods with their key cultural characteristics, or match a list of students with the opinions they expressed about a project. The difficulty lies in the fact that the audio will typically discuss all the items and all the options, but only a few pairings will be correct. The strategy for matching involves a three-step process. First, quickly read and understand the theme of all the numbered items, the subjects. Second, read all the lettered options, the possible descriptions, and underline keywords. Third, as you listen, wait for the speaker to mention an item, and then immediately track the conversation to see which of the options, often expressed using synonyms, the speaker links to that item. For example, if the item is the history department and option A is needs better lighting, you must listen for history department and then track the speaker's comment about its physical condition, listening for a paraphrase of needs better lighting. Category 4. Labeling questions. Labeling tasks require you to translate spoken description into visual identification. They test your comprehension of spatial relationships and technical vocab. Map and plan. Labeling, often found in Section 2, this question requires you to label points on a street map, or a diagram of a building, plan. Success hinges on understanding prepositions of place and directional language. You must be familiar with terms like opposite, adjacent, next to the north of, around the corner, in the top left quadrant. Before the audio begins, you must orient yourself on the map. Identify the starting point, e.g., you are here, and the key fixed points, e.g., the main entrance, the river. As the speaker gives directions, follow the path with your finger or pencil, labeling the unmarked points as they are described. The narrative will often act as a virtual tour, so if you lose your place, you risk missing several answers in quick succession. Diagram labeling. This involves labeling the different parts of a technical drawing, machine, or biological process. It is common in the academic sections, 3 and 4, and assesses your ability to follow technical or scientific description. The key is to scan the diagram before listening and anticipate the type of vocabulary required, e.g., names of components, stages of a cycle. The speaker will typically describe the diagram sequentially, so following the flow of the description is crucial. Again, answers may be chosen from a provided list or taken directly from the audio, so pay close attention to the instructions. Category 5. Short answer questions. The final distinct type is the short answer question, which is sometimes grouped with completion tasks. Here, you read a direct question and must provide an answer using a limited number of words taken directly from the recording. Answering direct questions. Unlike gap fills, you are not completing a pre-existing sentence. You are formulating the full answer. For example, the question might be, what 2 subjects did the students decide to focus on? The answer, limited to 2 or 3 words, might be physics and chemistry. This format primarily tests your ability to identify key items and exclude all extraneous information. The preparation strategy is to read the question carefully and underline the WH word, what, where, why, etc., and the keyword, e.g., reason, advantage, method. This focuses your listening, allowing you to only capture the relevant response when it is spoken. As with all completion tasks, verify that your answer fits the word count and that the spelling is accurate. The synthesis. A winning strategy, mastering the IELTS. Listening test is ultimately about synthesizing 2 key abilities, language comprehension and strategic execution. The diverse question types are designed to prevent simple memorization and force a real test of listening acumen. The overarching winning strategy for any question type involves 3 phases. Preparation, before the audio. Use the allotted time to read ahead. Underline keywords. Anticipate the type of information needed, e.g., a number, a proper noun, an adjective, and familiarize yourself with the grammar and structure surrounding the answer spaces. Execution. During the audio, focus intensely. Listen for signposting language, e.g., firstly, in conclusion, however, moving on to, which indicates a shift in the speaker's focus. Be vigilant for paraphrasing and distractors, and immediately record your answer in pencil as you hear it. Review. After the audio, use the final 10 minutes to transfer your answers to the official answer sheet. This is the crucial stage for checking spelling, pluralization, and ensuring you have adhered to all word limits. A single spelling error or a word count violation will result in a 0 for that question. By recognizing the distinct demands of multiple choice, completion, matching, labeling, and short answer questions, and by implementing these targeted strategies, candidates can confidently approach the test, ensuring they not only hear the English, but correctly interpret and record the information required to achieve their target band score. The variety of question types is the test's strength, and familiarity with this variety is the candidate's greatest asset.